Good afternoon and welcome to my weekly video. I am Representative Molly Jenkins and today I'm discussing my bill, House Bill 1515. This bill passed out of the Elections and Ethics Committee on Monday, February 17th. The intent is that those who wish to vote absentee will provide a reason. As a former educator, I find history a useful tool for understanding the present. Absentee voting, as we know it today, did not exist before the Civil War. At that time, there were no cars, and Election Day was a public event. Property owners cast their votes using voice voting, verbally declaring their choice to an election official who recorded it. If a person wanted their vote to count, they had to show up in person. By the early to mid-19th century, most states had transitioned to paper ballots, though they were not standardized. Voters either wrote down their choice or used pre-printed ballots provided by political parties. The first widespread use of absentee ballots occurred during the 1864 presidential election. When Union soldiers were allowed to vote remotely, states developed systems to ensure troops could cast ballots while away from their homes, setting a precedent for future absentee voting. By World War I and World War II, absentee voting was still primarily used for military personnel. The Soldiers' Voting Acts of 1942 and 1955 ensured service members could vote no matter where they were stationed. As the 20th century progressed, states began offering absentee ballots to civilians, but only with valid excuses such as illness or travel. Over time, these requirements were relaxed, leading to no-excuse absentee voting by mail, such as what we have in Oklahoma today. Now, in the 21st century, when it is easier than ever to vote in person, absentee ballot laws have been relaxed to the point where anyone can vote absentee without providing a reason. House Bill 1515 does not take away anyone's right to vote absentee. It simply requires voters to state a reason when requesting an absentee ballot. This is a small, reasonable measure that asks voters to acknowledge why they need to vote absentee. The reality is that most absentee voters do not have a true need to vote absentee. They vote absentee for convenience. The more absentee ballots issued, the greater the risk of fraud and error. Although Oklahoma has strong election integrity, 59 cases of voter fraud were identified in 2020, with 53 involving double voting. According to the Daily Oklahoman, this often happened when elderly voters forgot they had already voted absentee and then showed up to vote in person. This begs the question, why did they need an absentee ballot if they were capable of showing up in person? By requiring voters to check a box stating their reason for absentee voting, House Bill 1515 will help prevent this type of mistake or misuse. Under House Bill 1515, only a few of the valid reasons to vote absentee would include being absent from the jurisdiction, illness or disability, employment-related, military service, religion, being 75 years of age or older. Every voter, regardless of race or income, is capable of reading a list and checking a box to indicate their reason. The absentee ballot request form already exists, and once the reasons are added to the form, this minor step would take less than 30 seconds to complete. Surely preserving election integrity is worth 30 seconds. It is time-honored tradition to vote in person. Our newly elected president agrees. On December 5, 2024, when Donald J. Trump, then president-elect, accepted the Patriot Award at an event in Long Island, New York, in his speech, he stated, "We're going to look at elections. We want to have paper ballots and one-day voting, voter ID, and proof of citizenship." House Bill 1515 is only one small step toward our new president's goal. Just provide a reason. Some claim House Bill 1515 will discourage voting, but I argue the opposite. When voters trust the process, they are more likely to vote. Fraud, whether intentional or accidental, undermines public trust. We live in a constitutional republic, and I am grateful that voting is a right and a privilege. It is never a burden to show up and vote in person. I look forward to your support of House Bill 1515. Enjoy the warmer weather we are expecting soon, and remember to check back next week for another update.